Mark Avalone, Potomac Wealth Advisors president and founder, joins us now. You know, you have to wonder if this is now capitulation, Mark.
Well, it certainly feels like it, and I think a lot of it was brought about by the Fed action this week. Look, you've got a lot of problems in the world, and the U.S. was the stalwart. We were the safe zone, and our economy was so strong. And underneath that was a strong consumer with strong wages. The Fed looked at that a little differently. They saw strong wages and a strong economy, and they see a potential inflation threat. What they're looking at, though, or what they're not looking at, is plunging oil prices around the world, riots on the streets of Paris, a potential Brexit, which could cause some uncertainty in the financial markets in Europe. You have an escalating Chinese trade war. You're talking about espionage today, and people are jabbing at each other. They ignored all of that and focused on the sole data points of the U.S. being strong, and they're almost single-handedly bringing that down. I think it's an ill-advised strategy.
All right, let's talk about you brought up a couple of great points, but the global story, I think, is really interesting. We've been so focused in the last 3 months on this tit for tat with the Chinese. You mentioned the hacking that they've been accused of, but at the same time, of all the walls of worry that we've got right now that we're looking to climb, which one to you is the most concerning? Is it the trade talks with the Chinese possibly? Because that seems to be really hurting global markets in general.
Well, we have a concern du jour. Ask me tomorrow, I might have a different answer. But right now, it's the Fed. The Fed is the giant in the room. Jerome Powell showed he's Jerome Powerful right now. He's the most influential person in these markets. We need one of the Fed governors or Jerome Powell to slightly walk back the concerns. As big as the trade and the tariff talk is, we were doing fine. Remember when the tariff skirmish started and the Fed was accommodative, the market was skipping along just fine. The real issue right now is interest rate worries and the fact that the Fed could even encourage slower economic growth around the world by these recent actions.
So it's that quantitative tightening that you're talking about. And
Yes.
I made this point yesterday on the show, Mark, that the markets were so used to easy money and loving it so much. It's like their binky's been taken away and they're upset about it.
Well, yeah, but raising rates just to have dry powder, to have counter-cyclical action for the next downturn, that's like breaking up with somebody just because you want to make up with them. The Fed is single-handedly causing this. They're raising rates to have dry powder. I don't go for that argument. I think they should let the free market take place.
Mark Avalone, you made a lot of great points this morning. I'm glad to have you with us to kick off the show. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good to be here.